Dear children of the future, you are as strong as you believe you are. There is a truth as to how the system unfolds. Let this truth not coerce your own life path, but allow your awareness of it to enhance your ability to create. The way I see it, is just from my own perspective. I can't do anything but believe it from my own perspective, because my truth is based on my experience. And the only thing that is true is the fact that I have my own experiences. So what have I experienced? Well, I have an understanding through my own experience that there are different densities, different vibrational dimensions that this reality is composed of. And basically, we're just kind of perceiving it through a current one. But there are those that are above us, and there are those others that are below us. And as you move through these different vibrational densities, the laws, what we consider to be the laws, rather the construct of realities, changes, such as things like lesser gravity, matter. You can actually pass through matter on higher vibrational levels. And on higher vibrational levels, there's different perceptions of time. Basically, this may sound familiar, and that's because when we dream, we exist in these higher dimensional vibrations. And that's why we can manifest things almost literally instantaneously in our dreams, because there isn't necessarily the same element of time. There is, time's just different. As I was saying before, the wasp landed on my collar, because there are bugs out here, including this entire tree surrounded by these little guys who are so cool. Like, I was here earlier and I didn't see them, and I came back with a light and a camera, and suddenly they revealed themselves. I was like, whoa. So that's awesome, because these guys are part of reality too, you know? They're just kind of going with the flow, seeing where the wind takes them, jumping around a bit. But that's them. We're us. We're a different kind of them, in the sense that, for one thing, we have more of a choice as to what to do with our actions. For them, they can either jump left, jump right, move around a bit, but generally they're just kind of, it repeats more for them. Where with us, there is more variety to what we can get out of this life. There's another ant. Yo, what's up, little buddy? You see him? There he is. What's up, little dude? Look at him go. Woo! He's like running through this valley. Look at him. See, he thinks he's in like this valley, but obviously I know he's just on my arm, which is crazy. It's maybe it's kind of like that with vibrations, We're sort of just wandering around on the fingertip of some sort of dimensional giant. So, what's real? Well, the real thing is that I'm going to run out of battery eventually on this camera. I am going to run out of battery eventually on this camera. So, that said, what else do I need to say? Like I said, through my own experience, I have this understanding that we are not from here, so to speak, meaning our existence on this density isn't the only one we're familiar with, because in order to sort of come down into this density, we have to come from somewhere else. So our consciousness exists outside of our body. Our body is just like a vehicle. We have different vehicles on different dimensional levels. when we dream, our consciousness exists in a different dimensional body, you could say, in the realm that we recognize as dreaming. But that's just kind of where we go when we dream. So we can sort of experience other realities. But all these realities, they're not like literally, like I said, they're like kind of like blankets, but they're all in the same spot. Like they're all sort of intertwined. They're all part of the same thing. They're all just a matter of some stuff is visible in one density and it'll be invisible in another density, such as Sasquatch. That's right, Sasquatch, my best guess, is like some sort of quasi-dimensional entity that can like choose to go invisible because it's fairly intelligent, and the only time we like accidentally see it is if it's like completely by mistake, or Sasquatch is like tripping on mushrooms and he's like, whoa man, the humans, man, they're chasing me, man, and then, you know, just like tripping balls and not really consciously going invisible, because other times they can go invisible. And that's why we haven't really captured Sasquatch. And truth be told, we actually have captured Sasquatches, so to speak, but then they just walked their way out of the prisons. Or not prisons, but like cells, rooms they kept them in. So they couldn't actually hold them there to study, because like Sasquatch would like be there based on agreement. They'd be like, okay, humans, like show me, like what would you like to know from me? Ask me a question, blah blah blah. And then it'd be like, okay, I'm bored, I'm gonna like walk back into nature, and then it's just like walks right through the wall. So, okay, what else do you need to know? Okay. So, we need to sort of reconstruct our terminology as to thinking about things that we sort of think as ETs and stuff. Like, don't think so much ETs, think so much like interdimensional beings, so to speak. Like, there are some aliens that are literally on like the sort of similar or the same vibration as us, and which is why we're more like physically interacting with them, such as the Greys and stuff. But then there's like dimensional entities that are also really intelligent, but we just can't even see them right now, even though they're like actually around us, and some of their craft like maybe and stuff. And there may be like actual like spaceships like right outside of Earth's orbit, and we don't even realize it. And there's like real sort of space battles going on and stuff that we're just not really aware of, because the technology that NASA is proclaiming to be the apex of humans' ability to go into space is actually not. Like, humans have had the ability to use like well, not necessarily humans, but there's been the ability to use like hover technology and cloaking technology. Was it TBR-3 or something? TRB-3 is the government craft that's like sort of that triangle UFO craft, like that's supposedly. So anyways, so there's different types of UFOs. There's literally government UFOs, like some sort of government UFO. Generally these are usually triangle. They have like, there's like 3 lights sort of on the bottom, and they have like cloaking ability, so you won't usually see them. But then there's also like other, oftentimes people may actually be seeing Merkabas, which are like basically an ascended master or someone who's like floating up in the sky with their activated sacred divine technology that is like this light body that surrounds us and everything, because that is like the vehicle that we use to travel interdimensionally, but most of the time like it's difficult to activate on this density. Like, most people don't even know about it, but like it's like divine technology, so to speak. Like, it's built within us, and it's sort of like meant for a purpose, but not many people are even able to use it, because it takes like a super kind of level of awareness, the ability where you realize that there most definitely is no spoon, meaning that the conscious reality projected around you is more of like, it's illusionary, like it's an illusion, but it's not. That doesn't mean that it's not real. Like, everything is equally unreal. Hearing someone crawling around in there. Maybe it's Sasquatch. Sasquatch, is that you? Guess not. Okay, what else do you need to know? So yeah, like I said, we're actually like from somewhere else. Like, those things that we sort of call the soul, like that's just more of like an accurate representation of what consciousness exists as outside of this physical reality, and like it sort of comes in. So like when we die, we're actually like existing on different dimensional reality, or at least potentially we can, because part of the challenge is to like maintain a level of consciousness from this end of this life into the next. So my goal in this life is to go into the next life with some fairly, you know, like to have consciousness, to go into the next life, and to be able to sort of remember where I left off. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, like I remember the life lessons I learned. Then I'll be able to like go on and learn new life lessons, even like, you know, the next lessons that I want to learn, instead of having to like relearn the same lessons over. Because that's what a lot of people are sort of stuck in. A lot of people aren't necessarily stepping onto their life path, so to speak. Like before we sort of come into this life, we like sort of set up a contract for ourselves, almost. Like to say, I'm going to learn this lesson, I'm going to try to learn this lesson, I'm going to try to learn this lesson, I'm going to try to learn this lesson. And then to like put an honest effort towards it. But if you don't sort of put an honest effort towards learning those lessons, like if you're lazy and if you're like drinking like pop and eating unhealthy and being unhealthy, then it's more difficult for you to realize what those lessons are in the first place, and then you probably won't be going on them and stuff. You'll just be like kind of more apathetic, which is something that we are fighting against today, is apathy. Too many people are apathetic. They think that their decisions don't matter. They think that there's nothing that they can add of value to society, which is the exact opposite, because everyone has the ability to create a ripple effect, and everyone can say one thing to something, can say one thing to someone tomorrow and inspire them to say something to someone else or do something, and to actually have a lasting effect, instead of not being caring and being like self-centered and stuff. Like you want to be able to care about other people, because this is this idea of oneness. Okay, like as much as we're all individual souls, like dimensionally and stuff, as our consciousness exists on that level, it sort of exists on another level with like an encapsulated totality of all the consciousnesses below it, so to speak. So it's like a hierarchy. So like, and as you sort of go up, there's like an awareness of the fact that you exist as part of this level of consciousness. So like, you know, consciousness, like there's like higher conscious beings or something, so to speak, like going from us and like down to like you know, like regular mammals and like dogs and then cats, and then going down into like plants and rocks, you could say. There's like less of there's like a slower vibration, a slower frequency of consciousness activity. Not to say that dogs and cats aren't conscious, because dogs and cats can be like super kind of conscious. And cats, when their eyes are like super huge and stuff, it's interesting because it's usually like they're like triggered, like something inside them where they're tripping balls on purpose. Like their eyes are so huge, their eyes are so huge that's just like, whoa, that cat's like actually tripping balls. And he like looks around and is like, yeah, man, I totally am. So cats are funny like that. And bears eat mushrooms too, because it's funny. And mushrooms are a worthwhile experience. Don't listen to the government about the idea that, or like don't listen to rumor that they like cause your brain to bleed. Like that's not what's happening. That's definitely not it. Like it's expanding, it's opening up your perception into like the energy that's all around us, that's part of this higher vibrational reality. Like everything's all here, but our perception is limiting it. I'm about to run out of battery, but that's like one of the main things, is that there's more to this sight, there's more that you can see, but right now our eyes like have this filter on where it's like making it look like we're less part of this spiritual reality. And because of that, we think that we are, but we're not, because it's actually there, and you can experience it, and you can see it all around you, and you can look at it in nature and see it in a sunset. Like the colors, like that red, blue, yellow type thing, like that's kind of key. Like that's like really like the core of spirituality and stuff. Like you'll see those colors if you smoke DMT. So okay, this battery's about to run out. Trying to think if there's anything else that I really need to say, other than just wrapping it up on the note of to smoke DMT. Smoke DMT would be my final note, because DMT is like experiencing death without dying. Like if you want to get an idea of what happens when you die, you can smoke DMT and be like, opens you up to like the higher vibrational realities, and you're just like, yeah, there we go. So